Okay, curve sketching. Okay, curve sketching. Curve sketching is a humongous portion of EG2, particularly in the common test. Okay. In the exams, we could also ask you to do curve sketching, and usually it will be worth a lot of marks. Okay, why? Because you need to draw a curve. You probably, I don't know, get something like this. You need to find this point here, you need to find this point here, you need to find this one here, this one here, this one here. There's so many things you need to find. Each one of them are worth marks. Okay. There's also this one you haven't found yet. There's also a point of inflection somewhere here. So there are many things to find, and there are many places for them, for the markers to minus marks for you. So pay attention. Curve sketching is important. But that being said, curve sketching is not difficult. In fact, it is quite simple. The steps are always the same. So, okay, step number 1, find x equals to 0 and y equals to 0. What you're doing here is actually finding the intercepts. Okay? I'll do this step later on. Step number 2, differentiate, find your dy dx and let it equals to 0. Okay? Let it equals to 0. This one you're finding the turning points. Okay? Turning points. Step number 3, find d2y dx square and then test your turning points. Okay? Test your turning points. So what you will get is, if your d2y dx square is more than 0, you get a minimum point. If it's less than 0, you get maximum point. Okay? How to do this? Well, if you got more than 0, you have something, right? You should be happy. So see, smiley face, happy. A smiley face graph has a minimum point. If you have less than 0, means you owe somebody, right? It's negative. So sad face. Okay, you get sad face like that. And there's a maximum point here. Okay, there's a minimum point. That's one easy way to remember it. Okay, step number 4, find your point of inflection. Let your d2y dx square equals to 0. Okay, this will tell you your point of inflection, or just short form call it POI. And then of course, you just have to sketch the graph, sketch everything out based on what you find here. Okay, so let me just go into that. Step 1, let x equals to 0. What do you think is your value of y? This is 0, this is 0, this is 0. 0 minus 0 plus 0, y is 0. Duh. That's it. X equals 0, y equals 0. Done. That's the first thing. What I recommend doing here is to write down the coordinates as you go along. Okay, let x equals 0. But you're not done yet, because now you must let your y equals to 0. Okay, which means 4x cubed minus 24x squared plus 36x equals to 0. But you'll be thinking, hey, I know my answer already, x equals to 0. But then you have more than one value of x that can give you 0. X equals 0 is just one of them. What you need to do here is factorize. 4x squared minus 24x plus 36 equals to 0. In fact, you can further factorize it out. 4x equals to x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals to 0. Now factorize this. What you will have is 4x, and then you would get x minus 3 squared, okay, equals to 0. You get one more value of x here. When x equals to 3, this whole thing equals to 0. Am I correct? So x equals to 3, y equals to 0. That's your second intercept point. Okay, so let me write the value here. X is 3, y is 0. So I got 2 points. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, that's step number 1 done. How do I find step number 2? You need to do differentiation. Okay, step number 2, do differentiation. dy dx equals to 12x squared, I bring down the 3, okay, 12x squared, minus, bring down the 2, 48x plus 36. And what do you have to do? You have to let this equals to 0. Okay? What do you want to do? You want to find the value of x. Now I can see immediately that I can cancel off the 12. So I get x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0. I can factorize this, and what I get is x minus 3 and bracket x minus 1. Okay, equals to 0. What does that tell me? That tells me that I have 2 points. When x equals to 3, my dy dx is 0. When x equals to 1, my dy dx is 0. Okay? So, you only found the x value. I need to find the y value. What is the y value when x is equals to 3? Okay? So, you need to sub in x equals to 3 into the original equation. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I have 3, but I don't know what's the next one. I have 1, but again, I don't know what's the next one, which is the y value. Okay? Now, x equals to 3 also happens to be one of the points that we found just now, which is one of the points when y gives you 0. So, I know the answer to this one. The answer to this one is when x equals to 3, y equals to 0. What about the next one? When x equals to 1, what is y equals to? So, y equals to 4, I'm using this one here, 4 minus 24 plus 36. And the answer to this one is 16. So therefore the answer to this one is 16. So I have 1, 16 and 3, 0. Okay. So these are my turning point steps. Step number 2. Now, step number 3. What do I need to do? Differentiate one more time. dy square d square y dx square equals to, it's easier to use this equation to do the differentiation. Okay, it's easier. Please don't use this one. Okay, this one just makes your life miserable. So use the one in the red box. Bring down the 2, 24x. This one I get minus 48, and then that's it. Now what's my job here? My job here is to fill in the value of x. So when x equals to 3, what is my d2y dx square? d2y dx square is equals to, this one becomes 24 times 3, correct? That gives you 72. Minus 48. Can you see that 72 minus 48 will be more than 0? So this one here means it's more than 0. Therefore, you get a minimum point. Okay? Similarly, when x equals to 1, your d2y dx square is equals to 24 minus 48. You can see that 24 minus 48 will give you a number that's less than 0. This means that this is a maximum point. Okay, so you can note down here, this one here will be a minimum point. This one here will be a maximum point. Okay, at 116. So 3 steps done. Let's do the 4th step. Step number 4. Let your d2y dx square equals to 0. Now we already found our d2y dx square just now, which is 24x minus 48. And I'm going to let this one equals to 0. Why am I doing this? I want to find my point of inflection, POI. So based on this, I can see that my x will be equals to 48 divided by 24, which is 2. Quite convenient. Okay, so I have my point of inflection 2 something. I still don't know what that something is. How do I find this? I need to put it back inside y. So when x equals to 2, my y equals 2. Put my value of x equals 2 inside here, x equals 2 inside here, and so on. And what I have is I will get y equals to 8. Okay, y equals to 8. So I got 2, 8. So my steps 1, 2, 3, 4 are done. There's only one last thing left to do, which is sketch the graph. So let me just draw the axis here. One of the common things that a student gets marks -4 is forgetting to label the axis. Please don't lose marks like that. Okay, it's just xy. It's not too difficult to do. Now, what are our 5 points that we have? The first point that we knew was 0, 0. This is my intercept. And I have 3, 0. This is also my intercept. I have my turning points, which is again 3, 0. And that's a minimum point. I have 116, which is a maximum point. And I have 2, 8, which is a point of inflection. So I should have all my points available here already. So let's start sketching. I'm going to mark down all the points in red. So 0, 0 is somewhere here. 3, 0, I'm just going to call it somewhere here. Okay, so this is 3, 0. That's done. I know that 3, 0 is also a minimum point, so the curve should be a U-shaped smiley face here. 1, 16. If my 1 is here, then 16 is somewhere here. So this one here is 1, 16. And I know that it's maximum, so it's going to look like something like this. Okay? 2, 8. 2 is somewhere here, 8 will be somewhere here, so this is 2, 8. And this is the point of inflection. Can you already begin to see the curve taking shape? My curve will come up over here, cross this point, turn here, pass through this point, inflect, come down here, and then continue to go up again. Now I know it's not very straight. Let me just straighten this up a bit, okay, make it look a bit nicer. So it comes up here, turns around, pass through this point, turns around, and go back up. Okay, this one here is supposed to be straight. Okay, so that's my graph. To play even safer, every single point that you intercept should be labeled. Okay, so even this one here might even want to label this 3, 0, so very kiasu, all the points can label everything. Okay, and therefore this is your curve sketch, everything done. This question is worth quite a fair bit of marks. So good luck, and I hope you get as much marks as possible for graph sketching.